Hello YouTube, Ian here from Coolice Charge Case and Power Supplies. I hope you're all safe and well wherever you are in the world, and that you're having fun in whatever you're doing. I wanted to create another charge case video. I'm going to try not to make it too long-winded, as it seems the shorts and stuff like that are better received than me with the rambling on one. So anyway, I'm going to jump straight into it. This build is inside a Nanuk 940 case in graphite grey. I can obviously close the lid so you can see this. Yep, graphite grey, looks good. Comprises of two Revo Electrics PL8 chargers, controlled by the rather excellent but now of course vastly discontinued Revo Electrics bump controller. Covers the overall design of this was quite brief, if you like, but quite specific in that the customer, Lee Cheeseman, and he's obviously been messaging me in the background, he wanted these chargers, obviously in this case, with the bump controller, storage then to hold his Revo Electrics MPA boards, and if I open this up, ooh, light, they're in there. They have to go in a specific way round to fit, but anyway, they fit, so that's good. He wanted then a battery isolator switch or rotary isolator switch there, which is my usual thing that I fit for deciding whether you want to use internal power supplies or external DC power supply. But in this case, it's not for that. It is to differentiate between whether he wants to run the chargers on its own for charging, or in the top right hand corner here we have what I'm determining or calling the power box charging module, if you like. So he can have this on, or the chargers on individually, or both on as they are now with the battery isolator switch in position 2. We've obviously got then the charging outputs obviously of the charger, and as you can see, he wanted the 4mm banana sockets, and obviously then I've then converted to 9-pin JST XH connectors rather than the JST PA that you find on the front of the chargers themselves. And that's reminded me I need to create the adapter leads then for the MPAs, one on either side, because we've got obviously one charger here, and then obviously then, so channel 1 charger is on the left hand side and channel 2 is on the right. So let's break this down a little bit further. So the power box module is relatively simple, but I've kept it as a separate entity over in this top right hand corner. So we've got a 3D printed holder which obviously houses 4 XT60 connectors. They need to then be fed by a constant voltage of 14.4 volts, I think it was from memory. So that's basically what I have set. I've got a buck converter in there which is taking the 25 volt input and bucking it down to 14.4 volts. I then said to Lee, I said, look, would you like some form of digital volts amp meter kind of thing, just to give you some form of indication that the batteries are indeed taking current? He said yes, that's a good idea. So that's what I've done. So I've created obviously the 3D printed holder, which of course slides into the cutout inside the deck itself, and also this is nylon 6 on this deck. Obviously the cost of this case and the complexity of it dictated, or should I say necessitated, the additional cost involved in this deck material. So that's what we've done for on this. So that's obviously mounted in the deck as normal, and then when you plug the battery in, then it's obviously going to give a bit of an output, then a display there of what is going on with those batteries, because they are basically intelligent batteries in that they have a BMS built into it, so they just need a voltage. So that'll be quite handy for him, and I've not been able to try that because I don't have any of the batteries. So we come forward again then, obviously we've got the storage compartment here, which as you've seen from me before follows the same sort of routine. Apple MagSafe charger, I think they call it. This is an Apple iOS, he's an iOS user. So obviously I mounted that obviously in the lid. Had to do the little cutout for the little wire then to fit without bending it too sharply kind of thing. And then of course then over in this corner, as I open the lid again in a minute, you'll see it's got my usual magnetic pogo pin setup there. So basically in the past when I first did this sort of layout, I'd obviously have the wire in there, and over time opening and closing the lid it would snap the wire. So now I use the magnetic pogo pins, so when you open the lid it literally just breaks the connection to this MagSafe charger, and then when you close it again it creates it again, and obviously then you can put your mobile phone on it to charge, because of course if the lid is open standing upright or on its back, you can't put your mobile phone on it anyway, so there's no point having it on and running in the background, so that kills two birds with one stone. At the same time, when I open the lid on this side, you're going to hear a little micro switch click. Now that, as you saw earlier on, the eagle-eyed among you in the video will have noticed that when I open the lid, the light turns on. You can hear the switch. And there it is. The little red dot there is the actual push button on the switch. So basically it's a push to brake. So when I push it, it's going to break the connection to the strip of LEDs. Now in some of the photos that you'll probably find at the end of this video, you will see I originally had this kind of strip. And you can see obviously where I coloured the contacts so they weren't going to make contact with any piece of metal. Now this was good, don't get me wrong, but when it was lit, and well, should I say when it wasn't lit, I thought that looks a little bit ugly with the little LED bits there. And where I've made obviously the pocket out of 5mm thick matte black acrylic, I couldn't mount the LEDs on the outside of it kind of thing, so it shone through, say, like a clear compartment to shine up what was in there. So I then switched the LED strip to what they call cob strip. And as you can see, it basically just looks like one complete bar rather than individual LEDs. And admittedly, that is individual LEDs, but I think they're so close together and it's inside a diffuser kind of thing, so it looks like one complete strip. So, in my opinion, looks neater, and obviously I'm happier with that. And as you can see, there's the pogo pins. So you've got the matching, the fixed one on the inside and then the ones mounted to the lid. And of course then with the 3D printer, I've created the holder for the MagSafe here. And also then it creates the wire channel through here. And of course the individual little wires are soldered on the back of these pins, so it makes contact. Originally I only had the two. I had to modify this design to give me a third one, and indeed for future builds I'm probably going to buy myself some of these magnetic pogo pins with more pinouts on it in one long strip. Basically it turned out that the wires, I needed 5 wires as a minimum rather than the 4 I'd had in the past, so I had to add a third pogo pin set, and I've done that here and it works out quite well. So on the other side then, of course, as you can see, you've got the little switch for the LEDs. We've got magnets, left hand corner, middle and right, and obviously then they match in the lid itself. And again you can see obviously this is the nylon 6 material from the colour. So of course when the lid is closed, there's quite a definite shut there as those magnets take over. So rotary isolator switch over this side, that's very simple. Off, position 1, 1 and 2, position 2, and obviously that then changes whether the charger is powered, the power box module, charging module is powered, or both at the same time as it is now. The lid, that's obviously a little bit more of a work of art as well. He's a Vario flyer, he's very large scale helicopters from memory on his timeline in Facebook. Very nice machinery. So of course he wanted to pay homage to the Vario, so he had permission then to use the logo. So that's what we've done. So basically we've got a white, this actually follows the same design process as the Revo Electrics logo I did. So white acrylic back panel, and obviously I've cut out the outline shape slightly undersized in that kind of thing so light can come through it. I've then created a clear piece underneath, if you like, which is in a way to try and help promote light come shining out from behind it if it does, and it does ever so slightly, you can just about see it. And then obviously then stuck on top then we've got an individual 5mm acrylic helicopter again with obviously the red and the white parts as vinyl decals on top of that to bring those out into the open, which is quite nice, and it's worked out quite good. I'm quite pleased with that, because obviously I've machined this deck, this upper lid plate from this front face, if you like, and this is 6mm thick HDPE, I think it is off the top of my head, rather than polypropylene, hence why it's a black material. And I think I'm going to try and stick with this rather than polypropylene because it does machine better on the CNC. So moving on, in the middle there we've got 2 USB charge ports, and these are the PD type chargers as well as QC3. These did come with obviously little spring-loaded doors on them across the front to obviously make it look quite neat, but my worry was with those it was a little bit fiddly to hold that up and plug the USB lead in at the same time, so I literally just pulled them out. And it looked quite good. I'm quite pleased with that as it is, so I'm not too fussed. Above that then we have the first of 3 storage compartments. So again it's hinge lid with the magnets in the lid again as well, so it snaps shut. And at the back then we've got 3D printed cups, or if you want to call it that, or cubby compartments. So there's one there, and then it's flanked on either side by a slightly larger one. So there's another one there, and obviously then parts, small items can drop down another 2 centimetres, I think, below that. I think I made it, kind of thing. So that works out quite nice. You can put things in there and it drops down. So that's one on the right hand side, and we've got another one exactly the same on this side, and it drops down there as well. So that's quite nice too. And again, magnets, so it all snaps shut. My obligatory, yeah, can't get that word out, cable chain to protect the power wires going up into the lid. Essentially, I'm just taking 24 volt power up there, because obviously then they're capable of taking 24 volts on the USB ports and doing what they need to do. And again, then I've got 2 strips of 24 volt capable LED up the top there, just shining on the back of that helicopter to make that glow in the background. So nothing else too fancy on this one other than that. Obviously we've got AC in on the side, which is nice, and it's got the little flappy cover just to stop any foreign debris getting in there, hopefully, when it's not in use. The MagSafe charger, I can't show you that because I'm using my phone, which is wireless charging capable. Yeah, I think we've pretty much covered it all, really, to be fair. I suppose this is the main thing, with the LEDs in there that come on and off where you open the lid. That's quite a nice little feature. And there is they are very bright, to be fair. So they are wired through a dimmer, a wireless IR dimmer, with the remote is behind me somewhere. So basically I've got them only at 25% power, I think, from memory, and that's definitely more than enough to shine inside there. So customer's obviously seen the photos, he's very happy so far, and I think he's going to come and pick this up towards the end of this week, so that'd be great. I can get this one out the way and get the next one up on the bench in front of me. Hope you've enjoyed watching this one. Stay safe, keep safe, please like, share, subscribe, and you know what the usual. For all your charging needs, give me a shout. Take care, bye bye.